Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And today's video I'm going to share 10 things I love about airbrushing. I did a previous video about 10 things I hated about airbrushing, and that was just to try to see if you guys were interested in airbrushing or not, and I think some of you are. So I want to share 10 things I love about airbrushing and do a continuation of that series about 10 things about airbrushing. So let's go ahead and get started. So hopefully you learned something in this video and gets you interested in getting to airbrush, or at least trying it out as an additional medium to your traditional brushes or whatever you normally do. If you do spray can, stuff like that, maybe you want to get into airbrushing. It's kind of like a similar way of painting, so it kind of goes hand in hand. If you're already here in this video, that means you're probably interested in getting to learn how to airbrush. So I'm gonna give you guys the things that I love about airbrushing. I've been doing it for a while now. I kind of stopped for a little bit, but then I recently just started doing it again, and these are the 10 things I love about airbrushing. So these are in no particular order, so we're going to start off with the first one, and that's the most obvious to me, is that it actually looks really cool when you see it. So no matter where it's at, whether it's on apparel, on shoes, on, let's say, on a motorcycle or a custom car, lowrider, a mural, it tends to look really cool. Celebrities like it. Anybody that's into fashion, they love it. So it's you know, it's been used throughout different industries as well. For example, the Hollywood scene, making, you know, makeup and stuff like that. So obviously it has a lot of potential, and the artists that actually use the airbrush, I think, really love using it. And obviously a lot of people that they like for example, like hip-hop and stuff like that, kind of resembles a spray can when it's on a clothing, so makes it look kind of cool. So I think the obvious reason, number one, is it always looks cool no matter where it's at, and that's the number one reason why I love the airbrush. And coming in at number two, the reason why I love airbrushing is it's really quick. So I can finish a painting in about 2.5 hours instead of a couple of days. With traditional brushes, you know, with a brush you can start working with the background, and it takes you a while to try to get those fades. Obviously using a brush gives you that effect that you're looking for, that texture and stuff like that. But for me, I'm trying to get pieces out quickly, and so it really helps for me to be able to do that. I can spray a background really quickly with nice soft gradients, different colors and stuff like that, within probably, I don't know, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. So it's fairly quickly. You know, you're probably waiting longer for it to dry to get to the next layer than it is for you to actually lay down the actual artwork itself. And I love it. It's, you know, you can do a lot of things in one day, so that's kind of cool. So coming in at number three is the fact that you can change from thin strokes to thicker strokes without having to do or change any brushes. So literally you have the brush in your hand, and the action to get thinner strokes is to go really closely onto the canvas or whatever you're airbrushing, and do a limited amount of air and paint. Whereas if you want something, you know, more flared out and thicker, you want to go further and then really pull that trigger back, and you can do that instantly without having to change a brush, having to wash it, you know, change a different brush and try to use that. It's a little bit quicker to be able to change between strokes, and that allows me to pretty much just, you know, finish the job quickly, like I said in the previous one, number two. And yeah, it's like, you know, just coming in and out, just having like different flares. You can flare out, you can do straight lines, you know, you can, you know, do some special, you know, effects or textures. You can use stencils to get different types of texture. You can do that fairly quickly. That's what I like about the airbrush. You know, you can do that really fast. Coming in at number four, reason why I love airbrushing is that I can change colors fairly quickly. So a lot of people are using the airbrush with the cup on the top, and that particular airbrush is meant for more of illustration type of paintings. And if you're doing the same color, you know, within hours, and you're doing fine work, that's the perfect airbrush to use. But in my case, I use the bottom feed airbrush, where you know, we connect the bottle on the bottom, and the paint gets essentially siphoned up, and push through the front. I can quickly remove that, throw in some water in there with a different bottle, and then change color and come again with a different color. So it's fairly quickly for me to be able to change colors. And again, it goes back to that number 2, which is being able to complete a job fairly quickly. All this comes down to obviously how much detail you want to put in, but it helps you pump out more work. You know, it kind of helps you enjoy the airbrushing more, because you're able to finish one project and then possibly start 1 or 2 or 3 projects depending on how complex they are throughout the day. So you know, if you're doing this full time, then you know, obviously you're having fun throughout the day instead of having to meticulously like paint one painting at a time and doing it that way. So obviously the airbrush has its pros and cons. If you're looking for cons, make sure to check out my previous video that I did about 10 things I hate about airbrushing, and it all comes down to balancing and stuff like that. So once you figure out the balance, you'll definitely enjoy airbrushing. So for me, a suggestion for you to be able to get started on airbrushing, make sure to get the bottom feed airbrush and not the one with the little cup on top. I've seen a lot of videos with everybody using the cup on the top, and the issue is like changing colors is a nightmare. It's really messy, and it's not efficient. So even if you're doing models and small stuff like that, bottom fed airbrushes is always the best thing to get. So yeah, so let's go ahead and go to the next one. So the 5th thing that I love about airbrushing is that you can use it for a lot of different mediums. So for example, you know, I can be airbrushing a shirt, you know, in the morning, and then change and do a pair of jeans, and then from there do a custom controller, and then from there I can do like a custom helmet, and still be using the same airbrush. As far as other stuff, like you can use that same airbrush to do, like for example, like I don't know, like a mural or nails and stuff like that. If I were to do like airbrushing on food, I would probably have the same type of airbrush, the same brand and the same style. I would just keep 2 different airbrushes separately, only because now you're dealing with food. So you know, I would keep like all the food stuff together in one airbrush. If you do multiple stuff with airbrush, I would have one airbrush for like food, one airbrush for like apparel, cars, nails, whatever, all this other stuff, and then if you're doing makeup, I would have another airbrush for that, only because it's getting on someone's face. So that's essentially why it's kind of cool, because you can literally use the same tool to do multiple things in the same day, or you know, the week or whatever, and you really don't have to do anything with the airbrush except just clean it after a certain while. Or if you are changing into like from acrylic to enamel, you gotta make sure it's nice and clean, and vice versa. You can go back and forth. That stuff is not gonna get eaten or worn, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But like I said, if you are doing food and makeup, obviously you want to keep separate airbrushes just specifically for those things. And that's kind of cool. Like there's no, I mean, you can use like a brush on different, you know, different canvases or different mediums and stuff like that, but like again, like you're not gonna get that smooth finish. For example, the controllers, I need to clear them, and if you're having really thick, I'll use some brushes sometimes, but if I lay down something too thick and I clear it, you have that extra, you know, you have that extra bump in the clear, and you always have to sand it down, and clear it again until it gets nice and straight. So having an airbrush, it's you know, obviously you can finish it quickly, but it does give you a smoother finish as well. So that's kind of cool about the airbrush. So yeah, I mean, you can literally airbrush just about anything throughout the day using the same tool. So that's one of the things I really like about it. And coming in at number 6 is obviously making money with airbrushing. Not a lot of people can airbrush, and it's something that a lot of people like and not a lot of people are doing. So if you're really good at it, you can make a lot of money in your area, and that's kind of a good thing. You can make money on shoes, you can make money on just shirts, you can make money just doing like car stuff and motorcycles. So that's kind of like the good thing. Like you can always work in one area and then work on a different area just because you know how to airbrush. So that's kind of like a good thing, that a good skill, I guess, if you know how to airbrush and you kind of love doing it and you want to do it as a career, you can definitely make money doing it. So that's number 6, the things that I love about airbrushing. And coming in at number 7 is that it's a gateway for you to do other things. So for example, you can start off with doing airbrush t-shirts, and then you can get into like controllers or custom shoes, and then from there you can do jackets, and then from there you can do motorcycle helmets, or like custom jackets for celebrities, or you can do after that like paint cars. You can do that, paint murals. You can get into Hollywood and start painting makeup, the masks, or different stuff that they use on set, like props and stuff like that. So there's a variety of different things that you can get into. You can get into like painting nails. You can do cakes. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. So it's kind of like a good gateway for other different industries, which is kind of like what I like. And I mean, airbrushing is pretty versatile. It's kind of like a niche. It's kind of a very small niche industry, I guess, like of artists, but it has like a lot of opportunities in different ways. So that's kind of a cool thing about airbrushing, and you're still doing art at the end of the day. So that's always a good thing for any artist out there, is that you're still doing the art and getting paid at the same time. So that's kind of cool. And coming in at number 8 is the fact that not a lot of people, like I mentioned before, not a lot of people are airbrushing, and there's not that many good artists out there. So there are people that are learning how to airbrush, but as far as being good, it does take some time for you to be able to be good at airbrushing. But if you're really dedicated, you can get it within like 3 months. Like if you're constantly on it every day, you'll get it right away. And if you already know kind of like your art style, and apply that to the airbrush, I mean, you'll definitely pick it up quicker. So the cool thing is that there's opportunities out there. So if there's not an airbrush artist near you, then you have that opportunity to be the best one in that area, and then you can be the only one there and make a lot of money. Be able to collect items from people and airbrush it for them, or provide everything for them, and do it locally. So there's a lot of great artists out there. For me personally, I ship all over the world, so I'm not just stuck here in I don't know, Orange County, just doing Orange County stuff, because all my stuff is online. I can ship everywhere. I've shipped to Canada, I've shipped to the UK, Australia, where else? Yeah, I ship to a lot of places, Hawaii. So I mean, it's you can be in one location and be able to ship things out, and do it that way as well. If you have to locate to a place to airbrush, the cool thing is that your compressor's not that big. You can take a small compressor, or if they have one over there, you can just take your airbrushes and your pack of paints and be able to go and airbrush wherever you want. So there's not that much bulk that you need, so that's kind of cool as well. So if you're not just doing it off of like one location, you could always go in different locations and be able to do that as well. I know some people online that they do events and they'll take their setup. It's not that much setup. It's just maybe a table and a couple of items, and they'll have 2 or 3 stations and be able to do like an event, like a wedding or a corporate event, stuff like that, and they're just pumping out simple designs all day long. So that's kind of cool to be able to do that as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities out there. You just gotta get creative and stuff like that, and find the clientele that really love airbrushing. So other than that, that's pretty much it for I think it was number 8. I think, was it number 8? Yes. So the 9th thing I love about airbrushing, for me personally, is that it's fun. So for me, um, being able to create something quickly and be able to see it come alive in a couple hours is very satisfying to me. I also like to restore things, for example, and make them new. So, like for example, like I'll receive, I collab with the custom controllers, so I'll receive a blank, and then just looking at it and be like, oh, I wonder what it's gonna look like. I get to be the first one to get to see what that controller looks like. So that's kind of fun to me, being able to take something that's kind of plain and bringing it to life. So so that's fun. And just in general, like I love, like, customizing like old cars and making them look new, or taking like old furniture and updating them a little bit. So like repainting stuff, like I love all of that, just reclaiming old stuff and reusing it for other things. So I really like enjoying that, and makes it fun for me. So just seeing a brand new blank canvas in front of me just is just like, calling out, bring it to life, and the cool thing is, like, the customer normally has like a vision that they want, and I execute that vision, and then on top of that I try to add more, which is my style, and then once they see it, they just go crazy and they love it. So that's something that makes me feel really good, that I'm able to not only obviously execute the project properly, but go on and beyond, and give them something that can really be proud of, get more value for what they pay for, and really enjoy the item for them to be able to show it off as as constant as possible. And that kind of helps me out to bring in more work. Like, some cousin will see the other cousin's jacket and be like, oh, where'd you get that, and stuff like that. And that's happened a lot before, where I'll start doing like several of the family members items and stuff like that. So that's always fun. And it's always fun to compare, like, even though it's kind of similar project that they're looking for, but it's totally different. Like, it's always going to be different, the way it's laid out, the colors and stuff like that. So I really enjoy it, and that's really fun for me to do. And of course, like, people are always telling you that, oh, I really love your work and stuff like that. So that in itself makes me feel really good, that people are enjoying the work that I do. So yeah, that's number 9. I'm just really enjoying the fact that other people get to enjoy the same artwork that you're doing yourself. So that's always a great thing. And the 10th thing I love about airbrushing is that it's not going away anytime soon. So even though, for example, the shirts may be a trend here and there comes a wave, the tool itself is not going to go away, because it gets used all the time in all kinds of different industries, like I mentioned before. And it's been along for a very, very, very long time, and people are using different ways of using that tool to fix like a small scratch on a car. Instead of painting the whole fender, they'll just like airbrush that little area. So it's a tool that can be constantly be used in different industries. So I don't see it going anywhere. I've seen some like pictures of older airbrushes, and they were used to create posters back in the day when computers were not around. And obviously computers came here, and Photoshop was available, and Illustrator and all of that. Now AI is available, but people have found a different way of using the airbrush to be able to make money. So before, a while ago, nobody was customizing shoes. You would just get the shoe, and that was it. So nowadays, like, that's a new thing, like customizing shoes, getting custom sneakers and stuff like that. Apparel has always been around, especially in the hip-hop community, and hasn't really gone anywhere. You'll see it here and there. Different styles come and go, but there's always that little hint of customizing in hip-hop. You customize a jacket. It may not be airbrush, it may be like patches, or just a different style of you wearing it or cutting it. um, but yeah, you'll eventually have hints of like custom hand-drawn stuff, you know. So that's really cool. um, and like I mentioned before, you know, like in Hollywood they used to uh, paint props with the airbrush, makeup with the airbrush, masks. In the hot rod industry, you know, people are now making their hot rods more like roddy, like a rat, like rat rods, making them more rusty, making them look like patina. So they'll use the airbrush to create like, you know, rust areas and stuff like that. It's all creative stuff. For me right now, I'm really focused on doing a lot of jackets and shirts and stuff like that, a lot of canvases. So that's been kind of fun. So yeah, I mean, you know, I can essentially do like I said, helmets and right now I don't have the capability of doing cars, only because I don't have a place to do them. But yeah, definitely doing cars and stuff like that would be fun. And obviously doing murals, being able to, like, you know, go somewhere and do a mural will be fun as well. But you know, sometimes, like, yeah, going back to the fact that airbrushing is not going anywhere, that's pretty much, I believe that's kind of true, you know. Like, I'm trying to think of any of other things that or other industries that use the airbrush. In some places, actually, they, instead of screen printing the stuff, they'll have a line of like 5 or 6 airbrushes, and one person's doing one color, the other person's doing another color. And I've seen it done before, and I've actually worked with them before, Big Bud Press, and they'll do some some cool things. Like, they'll do a design, and they'll just have the first artist do, you know, like the background, and then the next artist does you know, the foreground, and then the next artist does something else. But it's just that uniqueness, hand painted items, kind of like a factory setting. It's kind of unique in itself, and it's, like I said, creative. Like, I've never seen that done before, ever. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I've seen a lot of artists online doing some amazing stuff, you know. Like, they'll mix media, airbrush with, you know, pan, and, you know, paint markers and brushes and stuff like that, which is very cool. So I don't think it's going anywhere. You know, you just have to find the people that love the way it looks, or the need for someone like that, and you can definitely make money. So that's kind of like the 10 things that I love about airbrushing. Obviously, the main thing is, like I said before at the beginning, is that it looks really cool. And if you're already here watching this video, then obviously you enjoy and like the way it looks, and probably the process as well, or you want to get into it. So I definitely encourage you to get you know, a cheap airbrush. I definitely recommend the one, like I said, the bottom fed airbrush, and start it that way. You know, like, you know, start with 1, 2 colors, and just kind of practice to see what you can do. Then get more involved into different colors, and then obviously add in your own style and stuff like that. But definitely get started with it. If you're not sure about it, you know, hopefully maybe a friend has it, and you can kind of try it out at their location to see if you really like it. But it's not really that bad to get started doing airbrush. The compressor, like I said, is probably like less than $200. The airbrush itself is $100, so, you know, you may spend like $300, maybe $350 for some paints. That's about it. Have fun with it, enjoy yourself. So let me know what you guys think of the airbrush, and let me know what you guys like about the airbrush. I do, like I said, I have another video of 10 things I hate about the airbrush, but I think overall, obviously, I continue doing airbrushing, so I love it more than I hate it. So all of that hating stuff is just frustration that happens all the time. You just have to get used to it. But there is more benefit of obviously doing airbrushing to me. So let me know what you guys think. Well, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think of all the different things that I love about airbrushing. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video Let me know if you guys want to know something in particular about airbrushing or about me. I'll be able to, you know, do some more videos later on, and be able to kind of, you know, engage with you guys more often, hopefully face to face. So for now, that's going to be it for this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy for now. Bye bye.